And we're back. Mike Cernovich from Danger and Play and Gorilla Mindset. And what a fucking ride, guys. Jesus Christ, what a ride. So I'm in my hotel in Austria. And I don't know if you've heard about the drama with Roosh. They tried kicking him out of Canada. Bomb threats have been made. Social justice warriors have been going after him. And he's been handling it masterfully. The reason this is also funny to me, well, there's a lot of reasons, but 5 years ago, almost to this day, I wrote an article, The Rise of Roosh. This was back when I was still I was still a lawyer doing legal work, and I wrote a legal website. And I'd found this sort of weird subculture that wasn't really PUA, it wasn't really pickup, but there were sort of like guys doing cool stuff. And I wrote sort of The Rise of Roosh is what it's called. And I said, what's the future? And I said, well, Roosh is the future. This is the future. 5 years ago, you know how much shit fucking guys like us and guys like Roosh got 5 or 10 years ago, and even get to this day. You couldn't make a living doing this 5 years ago. Back then, if you guys are new to Roosh, back then Roosh lived with his dad in his dad's basement in Washington D.C. You couldn't really do what we're doing now. But it's crazy now. There's all kinds of guys who are sort of doing this thing, whatever you want to call it. I kind of call it this side of the internet, and I don't want to get into all the inner squabbles, but essentially what happened is there was a loose-knit group of sort of men who wrote about men's issues, and a bunch of fucking dirtbags came in and said, we're part of your club. And I said, well, fucking, whatever club you're in, I'm not in. So I'm fucking peace out. And now those guys, they trash anybody who makes any money or whatever, but fuck. It's crazy. So I'm going to talk about the next 5 years. We're going to call this The Rise of the New Men's Media. And it's a rise. Just like 5 years ago, Roosh was living in his dad's basement. Now he's doing great. I didn't even know how to make money on the internet. I had no idea. That's why I'm so passionate about these make money online things. I don't sell marketing courses. I sell a fucking mindset book, which, yes, you should buy. Yes. But I'm not an internet marketer. I'm just like, guys, 5 years ago, you couldn't make a living writing for men. The market was fucking terrible. Unless you did really expensive PUA boot camps where you wore rose petals in your hair and went up to women and spit mad game, there was no future. There is a future. And the future is bigger now. The Rise of Roosh, 2010. I'll link to it. The rise of the new men's media. We're seeing it. So let's look at some data. Let's look at some analytics. And we'll look at Roosh's stuff right now. So you can go into Quantcast, C-U-A-N-T, cast, C-S-T.com. Because Roosh he sells advertising on his website. And you can click on the data, and if I were one of those fancy YouTube guys, I would flash an infographic right now. But Returner Kings, his signature site, did almost 800,000 unique visitors last month. 800,000 last month. Between Roosh's Roosh V site, his Returner Kings, the forum, over 1 million unique visitors a month. That's a fucking lot. That's real deal. But it's only growing. It's only growing. It is, if you're a man and you want to make a living writing about men's issues, meeting the needs of men, there's still time to get on the ground floor. Figure out a way. There's a whole section of that in Gorilla Mindset where I talked about the future. That's the future. How can you meet the interests of men? Because nobody was meeting the needs of men. Esquire said they wouldn't write any more articles about how to meet women because it's manipulative. So women can wear makeup, get boob jobs, lie about whether they're pregnant, forget to take the birth control, wear high heels to pretend how tall they are, put on makeup to hide their bad skin. But boy, if you're a man and you read an article on how to meet women, that's just too much for Esquire. GQ hired Lindsay West from Jezebel, a fucking morbidly obese, self-admitted man-hater who worked at Gawker. That's who GQ hired. So men's the interest there isn't. This is a new market, guys. This is a fucking new market, dude. People said you can't sell a mindset book like I did and write what I do on the internet. They said, Mike, you can't. You're too controversial. The politics are bad for your personal brand. I heard this for years. People said you can't do it. Sorry, guys, if you have headphones on. But I'm passionate about this stuff. And I want you guys to fucking figure out a way to do it for yourself. But they said, Mike, you can't do what you do. You can't write shit like that on the internet. You can't. You can't do it. Well, there is. We just hit 6,600 books. I just hit 1,000 audiobooks just over a month, right? It's true. Most authors will never sell 10,000 books. Not most authors. 90% of authors will not sell 10,000 copies of the book. Well, I'm going to do that. I said I want to do it in a year. We're going to do a lot quicker than a year, guys, thanks to you. That's why I want you guys to figure out what you can do. And also, I don't want you to be so demoralized. We're growing. That's why I talk about this analytics back-end stuff all the time. All the time. It isn't like, look at my analytics. That's not the fucking point. The point is, we're growing every fucking month. Last month, the Roosh Feed Networks, over 1 million uniques. That's a lot. My Twitter last month, 2.17 million tweet impressions. Now, a tweet impression is not a unique visitor, but that means the message is getting out there, right? 118,000 profile visits. No, that's August. I'm sorry, guys. Fuck. July, I got 6.33 million tweet impressions, 304,000 visits. So that means 304,000 times people went to twitter.com/Cernovich to see what the fuck I was having to say. 925 new followers in just 1 month. Wow. And that's just the traffic, guys. That's the trends. That's the future. So I'm at 21,000 followers now. The last 28 days, I did 7 million tweet impressions, 315,000 visits, 11.2 thousand mentions. Guys, and you wouldn't believe who's reading. They don't say. The tipping point will be when people can say, you know what, I like Mike Cernovich's stuff, or, I read Roosh's stuff, or I read other people's stuff. That's when you know that we've tipped. And that's where we're going to be in 5 years. 5 years ago, you couldn't make a living hardly writing on the internet, or you were living in third world countries, or just barely getting by. Now you can make a comfortable living. Now you can sell more books than real authors, right? Real authors. How many people who write for the Atlantic are going to sell more books than Gorilla Mindset this year? How many? Not many. Maybe that Tashi fucking Coates, whatever. And that's just because he sells porn to people who hate themselves for being white guilt porn. Other than him, how many? Why are these conservative peoples I'm going after on the right wing? Why are they afraid? Boy, they never promoted me. They never promoted Roosh. They never promoted any men's interest sites. Suddenly, they all know who I am. They always knew. But now that I'm going after them offensively, they're like, well, this guy's a racist, or he hates Jews, he hates women, he hates gays, he hates this, right? Where were they early on to promote our stuff? Nowhere. We were in a ghetto. We were in a fucking ghetto. I remember talking to Victor Pride. I swore, I said it just like this. I said, Victor, right now I feel like the king of the ghetto because I don't want to be where I am. I'm going to be fucking bigger than that. This isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. And it's not. The next 5 years are going to get bigger. We're going to get bigger. Yeah, it's bad out there. You got to watch your back now. The social justice warriors are getting people fired, but they're facing pushback now. And that's why I don't play the left-right bullshit. You very rarely see me shit-talk liberals, and if I do, I'm very careful. I say the radical left. Because Gamergate was a big push, and those people are, for the most part, they're kind of left-leaning. We disagree on a lot of stuff, but we agree on free speech, and that's what we focus on. So, find alliances where you can. Find out if you can agree with people, find those singular causes. A lot of people... Because now it's weird. So Roosh's audience and mine, the overlap isn't that strong. I would say maybe there's, I don't know, 20% overlap. It's not that. It's not what most people would think. A lot of people try to say, oh, Roosh, Cernovich, or they try to essentially like make me look bad by associating me with Roosh, which is always going to be a no-brainer because Roosh was one of the pioneer guys. So whatever I disagree with him on, like, what, I'm going to backstab him? You know, why? But our audience overlap isn't that even that big. But that just goes to show people want free speech. It's okay to be a man. It's okay to be white. Women are saying it's okay to be a black man. Black people are saying it's okay to be a white man. The tides are turning. So yeah, it's a little demoralizing. It is tough out there being a man. But if you check out of the system, it really isn't. You gotta find a way how to do it, and that's why I'm always about this internet stuff. I don't have a big plan to sell you an expensive internet marketing course. After my next book, I might be doing 2 books, and then my 3rd book is going to be called Audacity: How to Get Noticed When Nobody Cares, or it might be called Audacity: How to become a somebody from nobody. But it's going to talk about the podcast. Remember, I did Audacity. That's my public relations strategy. Is fucking in your face, audacious. I don't care. Attack. Audacity, always Audacity. But that'll just be like a regular book, and that's just down the road. So we're growing, guys. The new media is arising. Don't be surprised if one of us or a couple of us join forces and create a bigger news site than Vice. Why can't we? Andrew Breitbart did that with the conservative media. He started breaking stories nobody else would talk about. He said, I'm going to break it. Drudge. I watched all these guys who were nobodies. They just had regular websites. They were nobodies. I watched them all push forward. And I'm seeing that with guys on my side of the internet. And it's fucking great. I'm really happy. I'm happy for Roosh. I'm happy that he's getting all this media attention. I'm happy that they're talking to him and streaming to him. And I'm happy that he's got his own media platforms now. He doesn't need them to say anything. He can say whatever he wants to say. And he has enough friendly people with their own audiences that are going to get that message out. So bring on the attacks. I love it. I know a lot of fucking people who don't like me watch these videos, and I'm thank you for that because I'm gloating. I'm going to keep gloating because we're fucking you up, and we're going to keep pushing hard. We don't play defense. We're not real social dynamics. Remember those little pussies got banned from Canada, Australia? They cried, they hid like little bitches. We're not pickup artists. We're not real social dynamics. We're not fucking Tucker Max. We're not Ryan Holiday. We're not Tim Ferriss. We don't want to be legitimate. We're creating a new form of legitimacy. We're creating an entire new fucking system. Entire new sites, entire new way of looking at things. So what's the next big thing right now? You, and you, and you. The next big thing, the next 5-10 years, the new media is rising. The new male media is rising, and it's an exciting time to be alive. Don't be despondent. Just find a way to do what I did in 2010. I was like, who's this Roosh guy? He fucking lives in a basement, doesn't, he writes a cool site. What the fuck is this shit all about? I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out. And that's all I did. And here I am now in a fucking hotel in Austria. I travel the world. I do what I want to do. I sell more books than people who write for The Atlantic or other legitimate websites. And we're just going to keep growing. We're not even at the fucking nearly peaked. We're at the ground floor still. There's still time for you. Don't feel hopeless. Just figure out a way to do it for yourself, and you can. Thanks for tuning in. I am excited. If you have headphones on, I'm sorry. I should probably adjust the volume range, but you know what you're getting into when you press play with me. Could be anything. Keep doing your thing. We're going to grow. Fuck college. Fuck legitimacy. Fuck trying to be accepted by the mainstream. Fuck these degenerates. We don't give a fuck. We're doing our own thing. Welcome to the jungle, bitches. Talk to you tomorrow.